Hey everyone, welcome to Meaningful Marketing, and we're here with Agata now. I met her through LinkedIn a few months ago, and I'm very excited that she's speaking at the event today. And I think her topic is interesting because a question that's on everyone's mind, which is how do we go from being completely unknown to a viral startup? So if you have any questions, pop in the chat. Me and my team are there, and we're excited to speak with you. And Agata, I'm going to let it take you away with your session.
Thank you so much for this nice introduction, Viola. Yeah, that's true. We met on LinkedIn, so it's funny how in today's world people get connected. So as you mentioned, I'm Agata, yes, and I'm the VP of Growth at a company called Pictochart. And Pictochart is a SaaS platform offering easy-to-use online graphic design software that enables people who are non-designers to create professional infographics, reports, pitch decks, and posters based on templates. Our company is turning 10 years in November. I'm mentioning this because it kind of means that we are rather a scale-up than a startup. But this is actually only partially true, and I'll tell you why. So last November, we launched a beta version of a completely new product called Pictostory. And it's a simple video editor made for repurposing Zoom recordings, webinars, and marketing videos on social media. This product is fully independent from Pictochart. So it has its own user base, a completely separate branding, and a small but dedicated team just working on this specific product. So it's essentially a new startup where everything has to be built from scratch. And today, I would like to show you which tactics we decided to use at Pictostory to help us grow from an unknown to a mainstream brand. To be clear, at the beginning, we are not there yet. So if you haven't heard of Pictostory, there is nothing wrong with you. We are not yet a mainstream brand, but we have made some really good progress this year and have a solid plan for the future that I would like to share with you today. First of all, I think what set us off for a good start with Pictostory was the experience. So over the last 10 years, we have managed to grow a bootstrap company like Pictochart. So Pictochart is actually fully bootstrap. We don't have any investors. Into a profitable business with 6 million users worldwide. We had the confidence that we could do the same with Pictostory. And here are two growth tactics that helped us acquire the first 4,000 users and 318 paying customers in the first 8 months of Pictostory's life. Launch on Product Hunt and lifetime deal. Let's first look at some data. So you can see these three peaks on the graph. The first two are related to Product Hunt, and then the last peak is related to the lifetime deal that I'll be talking about a bit later. We went live on Product Hunt twice. First time in November 2020 with just a beta version of Pictostory. And then second time was in April 2021 when we had the first version of the product ready. And during the first round, we reached number 3 product of the day, and then later managed to get to number 2. However, as you can see from the graph, the first launch was more successful in terms of driving signups to Pictostory. It's actually interesting to see because we were way better prepared and also reached a better position, which I showed you a second ago, with the second launch. And we were thinking about it, like, what could have been the reasons why we got the less signups, and it's kind of self-explanatory because there was a lack of novelty with the second launch. So Product Hunt is a community of regular users, and the ones who got excited about Pictostory already signed up after the first launch on Product Hunt. And then with the second launch, it basically helped us to convince the ones who maybe weren't on board for the beta and then ended up signing once we went live with version 1 of the product. I would like to share with you 9 steps that helped us and hopefully would help you as well to have a successful launch on Product Hunt. I'll go through each of the steps one by one, explaining a bit what is hidden behind them. So let's start with announce upcoming launch using Product Hunt Ship. Actually, when we were launching the beta version, so for the first launch on Product Hunt, we didn't really know that this existed, that this option existed, and we didn't leverage it. But we were way better prepared, as I mentioned, for the second launch. So we actually used this option. What it allows you to do is you announce basically your launch beforehand. You could do it, for example, a month before, and you allow users to subscribe to updates. So anyone who is going to subscribe to updates later on, once your product goes actually live on Product Hunt, will get notified. So it gives you already, a bit a group of users who ahead of time are going to follow you and will help you maybe with upvoting, adding comments, because they are already interested in your product. And you can automatically send a notification to them as well. So that has helped us a lot as well. And it was definitely a good idea to use this option. The second option is to secure a hunter. And a good hunter is, first of all, a Product Hunt power user. So he either has a gold or silver medal on Product Hunt. You can see it's like an icon next to the name of the user. He has more than 1,000 followers and a track record of past hunted products in top 3, let's say. And in our case, we went with Chris Messina. We actually wanted to secure Chris Messina already for the first launch on Product Hunt, but we were too late. We didn't know that we actually should, notify the hunter 1 to 2 months ahead of the launch. But the reality is that the best hunters get booked out fast. In case of Chris, he actually does the hunting for free. You can, like, on a voluntary basis, pay him something as well for the help. He also gave us some good advice in terms of, the content that we should prepare for the launch. So it was definitely great that we had a chance to work with him for the launch. The third thing is to prepare your launch content. And there are a few things that you definitely need. So logically, you need the name of your product. Then you need the tagline and the description. A good tip for tagline, and that's also something that we learned based on the first mistake, is to either add numbers or emojis to the tagline. Why? It's simply because it makes you easily stand out from all the other products that are being launched on the given day as well. Then you need obviously a product link, a product thumbnail. You could use, for example, a GIF, a product video, product images, and a founder's message. Or in some cases, it would be someone from product, like a head of product or the PM that was working on the product. Then the next thing is to prepare a special offer. Actually, like before I go to the special offer here, I prepared something as an overview on the slide. So basically, I wanted to show you how the launch looked, comparing both the beta launch and then later on the version 1. So at the beginning, when we were going with the beta launch, we went for a GIF as an image and also like a very simple tagline. We didn't think it's much true. But for the second one, we actually had several different versions of the tagline, and we were really like thinking about it, what would stick on people's mind. And we ended up going with this tagline, get 12 times more shares for your video. And that's actually a data, actual data that proves that videos which are shared on social media, like, reused on social media, they get 12 times more shares. So we actually reuse this data point as our tagline. And it definitely helped us because it grabbed a lot of attention from the users who were like, in the discussion on Product Hunt, because a lot of people were actually asking us about that tagline. So it did work. Here is also like an example of, visual that we prepared. So in our case, it was an animated GIF as well that we wanted to use for the launch. Okay, now going to the next point is prepare special offer for Product Hunt community. That's something that actually Chris Messina recommended to us to do. He said that products would prepare a special offer for the community usually get a higher chance to convert people to signups, because otherwise when you launch on Product Hunt, often it is that people would comment, they would like upvote and so on, but they will never end up trying out your product. And it's a big miss, because actually people on Product Hunt are usually very tech savvy, so they are very good early adopters, people who could give feedback about your product. So in our case, we prepared an offer that was 1 month of free usage of Pictostory. We created a dedicated voucher code for this that people could give when they were signing up, and they could input it in a specific field and get basically this 1 month of free usage. Next point, actually 3 points. So first, secure an agency. We did that because our team is mainly based in Asia and Europe, and we were worried that since Product Hunt has a lot of audience within the US, that we might not have a proper coverage there to, keep an eye on Product Hunt on our page and so on, and be engaged and so on. So the agency actually helped us with the entire launch throughout 24 hours cycle. And they helped us to promote it among their community of, tech users as well. Create your support community. And what I mean here is that you need to build like your own community as well that will support you on the launch date. So reach out to relevant Product Hunt members and share your product before the launch. Actually, I had a very interesting example of how this can be used in practice. Recently, someone reached out to me on LinkedIn who actually was planning to launch a new product on Product Hunt, but he didn't tell me this yet. He basically sent me his product and he said, I wanted to give you a chance to try this product for free. I thought that it might be useful for you. I saw you that you're also a member of Product Hunt community. If you would have time, I would really appreciate your feedback. So this way we got engaged in the conversation. Actually, he was able to build some sort of a relationship with me on LinkedIn, right? After I tested the product, later on he mentioned, by the way, we'll be launching on Product Hunt. Would you mind if I let you know on the launch date, and maybe you could share your feedback there as well and help to support us on the day of the launch? And I said, sure. So it's actually like this type of a strategy is very smart. You look for people on Product Hunt who are active there and reach out to them on another channel, like, something like LinkedIn, and you engage with them ahead of time, ahead of the launch. The next step is to create a list of relevant Slack communities. So you can find a lot of communities that are relevant to your product, so your potential target audience, and you could promote your product there as well. And ask definitely your network for help as well. So it doesn't matter, right? Like maybe you have a big network on LinkedIn, maybe it's on Twitter, maybe it's on Instagram, wherever it is, ask people for help, ask for help as well from your friends and your employees. Next is to create promotional assets. There can be different ones here. In our case, we created an email banner. So this animated one, that was something that we were basically adding to our email footers. We asked all of the employees to do it. We also created social media visuals and videos and a homepage banner that we placed on both the Pictochart website as well as the Pictostory website. It was basically letting people know, saying, we are live on Product Hunt. We would love to hear your feedback about the product. And that has helped us a lot as well to drive additional traffic to the launch page. Next point is to stay engaged on the launch day. So first of all, you need to make sure that you like and respond to comments from the Product Hunt community. It really counts as well towards your final position, your ranking on Product Hunt on the given day. Reach out also to your support community. So the support community I mentioned from step 6. But make sure you do not ask them for upvotes, since actually this is something that Product Hunt is banning. So you have to really watch out for this, not to officially ask for upvotes, ask for feedback, ask for comments. And share your offer via video on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Reddit. And here I would like to show you an example of how I did that. I created a video. Actually, I used, in this case, our product as well, Pictostory, to create the video where I placed the headline, that it's a dedicated product hunt offer. And in the video, I talked about it, that we launched on Product Hunt, that we prepared a special offer for the community, that people can get 1 month for free from Pictostory. And it was actually a really good idea. I ended up getting quite a lot of engagement here, like over 1,800 views, a few really good comments from people that said that they're going to check it out as well. So it's good as well to get out of the Product Hunt channel and try to leverage your audience on other channels, and definitely try out videos because they work way better than just text posts. And then the last point is to tag Product Hunt on Twitter and Facebook. Here you can see an example of a Twitter post that we posted after we went live on Product Hunt. We tagged Product Hunt, and the reason why you should do it is because Product Hunt reviews the mentions. And this way, they kind of discover actually the products that are being launched on the given day, and your chance to get shared by Product Hunt on their official Twitter account increases. And that definitely helps you as well with your positioning and your overall performance on the given day during their launch, because obviously Product Hunt has the credibility, and if they would retweet you or mention you, it means that this is the type of product that they are kind of endorsing as well. Okay, so this were the steps for launching on Product Hunt. Let's move on to the second growth tactic, which was launching on LTDF in June. Here you can see again the same graph, and actually you might notice that we got even more signups from this LTDF initiative than we did from Product Hunt. And this specific tactic actually helped Pictostory to grow by 60 times in just 1 week. But before I tell you how we did it, let's first explain what LTDF is. So LTDF is a lifetime tech deal fans group on Facebook with over 3,000 members. It's a close community of tech enthusiasts who are always looking for either tools to increase their productivity or in general to make their work easier. We contacted the group admins and did a coordinated live launch for their community on Facebook. And this obviously wasn't an easy thing, not as easy as it might sound. So we basically had 3 weeks to mobilize the whole team. And what we needed for the launch were the following things. So first of all, we needed a dedicated landing page on which we would promote the offer, where the voucher code would be applied as well. So making sure that, we describe as well what the product is, why if it's worth to purchase it as well, that this offer is only exclusive for the LTDF community, and also how they can get the offer as well. So call to action. We also wanted to implement tracking system. Obviously, we wanted to measure the success of it. Updating of payment mechanisms. Yeah, so we basically needed to make sure that it's going to be possible for the user to purchase a lifetime deal. So it basically means that they pay once and they get your product for a lifetime. So they're never going to have to pay for it again. They just pay once and they can keep using it. So it's some sort of a special deal. So it definitely needs a payment infrastructure that is going to be able to support it. And so we needed to put also a lot of additional hours, sometimes at night as well, to answer tons of questions from the community. As mentioned, people in this group are extremely tech savvy. So they ask a lot of questions. They make sure that if they purchase the product, it's actually what is solving their problem. So they have a ton of feedback and a lot of questions, which really helped us out as well to understand, how people would use a product. In some cases, it was even completely different than we initially thought that product could be used. And the last thing was the public roadmap to keep the community in the loop on future product developments as well. That was something that was very important as well for this community. And after just a week, like I mentioned, we managed to increase the number of paying customers by 60 times. But more importantly, we received a lot of feedback on the product, which actually helped us push in the right direction. It actually became a baseline to redefining our whole roadmap for product. So it really helped us tremendously, not only in terms of the revenue, but actually like in terms of, imagining the future of the product as well. So you might be wondering, what's next? How do we plan to grow to 10,000 users and the first 1,000 customers by the end of this year? It's only one quarter left, right? So I wanted to show you shortly as well, give you basically like a sneak peek into what we have lined up for Q4. Few things that we planned. I mean, there's definitely more than that as well, but these were the things that I wanted to highlight. So first of all is the campaign with YouTube influencers. It might not work for every single product, but actually I have done YouTube influencer campaigns in 3 different startups, and they worked really, really well in terms of building brand awareness, but also driving signups. So we want to do this as well for Pictostory. We already have one video with an influencer coming up in the next 2 weeks, and we are planning to do at least 2 additional ones as well. Another thing is a growth of our affiliate program. We actually already have an affiliate program in place. We launched it last quarter, but there aren't that many affiliates there yet. We are using a platform called Tapfiliate that helps us to manage basically the program and make sure that, affiliates are also getting the part of revenue for every single person they're going to refer to us that would decide to purchase the product. And we do feel that actually this can help us to grow a lot, because these are product advocates as well who have a lot of followers and can help us to spread awareness about the product. The third thing is the lifetime deal with Stack Social. Stack Social is actually way bigger community than this LTDF community on Facebook. So actually potential here is definitely bigger. They also give us exposure to some big media partners, like, for example, Mashable. So we are really excited about this specific collaboration as well, which is probably going to be launching as well within the next 2-3 weeks. And the last is growing our presence on YouTube, Reddit, and Instagram. Why this specific social media channels? We actually tested several different social media channels. We invested a lot into seeing the potential. Like, we were posting on everything from LinkedIn, Twitter, Reddit, Quora, Instagram, and so on and so on, even TikTok. And we just noticed that basically these 3 platforms have the biggest potential for us, for our products. I'm not saying that this is something that will also work for you. What I'm trying to say is more that you have to test and see where your audience, where your potential audience is, and think about ideas how you could scale it so you can reach them better. And in our case, we want to invest more into video content basically, and share it on YouTube and on this other channel. So on Instagram, for example, in Instagram Reels or Instagram TV. The key learnings that I wanted to share with you from these presentations are to first be open to test out the not so well-known strategies. Often people are afraid, especially like with these lifetime deals. They are like, okay, what? But then it's not like a standard thing. It's not MRR. Like, how is this going to look like? But that's not the point. Like, these users usually give you amazing feedback for the product. They will help your product to innovate as well and move faster as well, become more competitive on the market. Second of all, they are loyal customers, right, who stay there. So they actually care about this, that you're going to build a really good product. They also are promoters of your product. So at the end of the day, they will be the first adopters, but they will be also your referrers, like the ones that will bring additional audience to your product. Focus on initiatives that will help you grow a loyal user base of product advocates. So this is what I mentioned just right now. And be patient and don't give up. Sometimes it might seem things are not working. You saw on our graph as well that we had months when things were going slower. We were very worried about it, but we knew that, like, it's just temporary, that we need to push the brand farther and make it more recognizable. So we kept coming with new ideas and also kept improving on the ideas that have already worked, and started thinking like how we could scale them. An example is basically this deal with Stack Social as well, which is, we are doing it because of the success that we had also with this LTDF deal. I hope these tips will help you, your startup, to jump on a growth trajectory, and I would be happy to take any questions from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Agata. Very, very insightful. I'm curious, where out of all the things that you could have been doing, right? Out of all the initiatives and launch strategies, how come you picked Product Hunt? And a different way to ask that maybe is, what kind of a startup would you recommend to launch on Product Hunt? What kind of a startup would you not recommend to launch on Product Hunt?
I think it's a good question, because it's definitely not the best, like the only strategy for everyone as well. Sometimes I feel that people are so into this strategy. They are like, okay, we have to launch on Product Hunt, and they think that once they launch on Product Hunt, suddenly they're going to get a lot of users.
Right.
And that's not what Product Hunt is for, right? Product Hunt is really to get early adopters as well and get product feedback. So I think it's really good for validation of the maybe your user base, of the market, and so on, like, getting the initial feedback and making the product better. I definitely would recommend it to startups who are still in the beta version and
Right.
are still wondering, like, should I show the first version to someone or not, and so on. That's the right audience to show the first version of your product, definitely. But it might be it might not be something worth spending a lot of effort if you already have some user base, and I don't know, now you're launching version 1 or version 2. And we saw it as well on the graph that in our case, we didn't get a lot of results out of it, and actually we did spend a lot of time on it. So we
Right.
could have used this time and resources on some other initiative as well, right? So I think it's mainly for more like a product validation, so when you're at the beginning. But I wouldn't really recommend it for startups that have been a bit longer on the market, because that's not something that's gonna drive a lot of brand awareness. There are definitely other ways, like even Ask Me Anything that you could do on some portal, and there you can also engage with the audience, but this also would bring you additional brand awareness. But I think it's good always to think about things that others are not doing, which is a bit harder, right? Because it's very easy to find things that others do. Product Hunt is also one of the things that a lot of people do. But it's harder to find the ones that not everyone is doing, because usually it means that there are no blog posts about it as well.
Yeah.
So it's good as well to find mentors and ask people,
Right.
ask other companies that you notice have been successful. Don't be afraid to reach out to founders or maybe marketers that are at startups that are 1 or 2 years old and have a very good growth trajectory. A lot of people heard about them. Ask them how they did it, and maybe try to replicate as well their tactics.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, this is how I feel a lot of people, if not most of us in the marketing industry, are somehow self-taught or taught by our peers and community. And so I definitely second that. And I appreciate your openness and honesty in which you have shared your tactics and also results today. I really, really appreciate it. And one question I have regarding the lifetime value, you obviously had amazing success with the signups. How do you determine the lifetime deal and pricing? Like, what factor do you consider when you created that lifetime offer for the Facebook group?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you cannot make, you need to make sure that it's kind of profitable for you as well, right? So you cannot price it at the same price as what people would pay for a yearly plan as well. It has to be slightly higher, but it cannot be also too expensive. So maybe it could be like a price of like 1.5 years on the product. And you could take under consideration several factors, like, lifetime, which you might not have because probably your product is too young to basically be able to measure this as well. But also, I know that there are some products which put their pricing for the lifetime deal very, very low. I'm not sure if this is the best tactic. I would not really go this path because, first of all, like, you know, it's one-off revenue, and it might be that is, especially if usage of your product is actually costly for you as a business, that's not going to be a good idea. You have to always calculate, like, you know, what do you think on average, how much your users, like these users, will use your product, and how much would it cost you? In our case, because we are a video platform, it's actually quite expensive for us because we have to pay for this translation API, right? So every single person that uploads a video, it actually generates a cost for us. So we had to calculate an average, like, you know, what we think would be profitable still for us. That, like, you know, we looked at the data on average, like how many videos we think people would create and how long the videos would be, because we knew that, like, you know, not everyone will stay active. Like some people will purchase it, like maybe they will use it for the first year, they forget about it. And we knew about it because we did a lifetime deal for Pictochart as well in the past, like long time ago. And there's only very few people who are still using this lifetime deal, right? Like, you know, people kind of like fizzle and forget, or, you know, they change jobs and then they don't need it anymore. But at the same time, there will be others who really use it. So you have to calculate it to make sure that actually, like, you won't end up losing money as well with this.
Yeah, I think that is a good feedback. And I do like what you said with the rule of thumb for the like 1.5 years or so. That makes a lot of sense. We're rapidly approaching the 30-minute mark, or we are slightly over the 30-minute mark. But I have one important question. I know that you speak, that you're also a mentor for people. So where can we follow you best? What's your favorite website or social channel where you're the most active? Where can we reach you? And then obviously, how can we get started on Pictostory as well?
So definitely on LinkedIn, I think I'm the most active there. I have to kind of focus usually on one channel. And I think it's really good as well for professional networking. We met on LinkedIn, as you mentioned as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a proof. And also I am a mentor on Growth Mentor. So, you know, if someone wants an advice, like maybe struggling with something, feel free to check out the platform. There are a lot of really amazing mentors there. And then the other thing that you were asking me for Pictostory, yes. So there's actually a special deal that we gave for Pictostory for everyone who is attending Meaningful Marketing. So definitely check it out. You can grab that deal and get a discount for trying out Pictostory and also for Pictochart. It's really good for, you know, building personal brand as well on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. You can basically reuse your existing videos as well, like webinars, Zoom recording, virtual conferences like this one as well, and create short clips that you can then use for promotion of the longer version of the video, and just basically driving traffic to your website as well.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll pop those links into the comments again so people can find them. Agata, thank you so much for joining today, taking a leap of faith and joining this event. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate your openness and honesty, and I'm very much looking forward to hopefully running into each other in person sometime soon.
Yes, me too. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Take care.